Hallo, guten Morgen und willkommen zurück zu meinem Kanal. In this moment, that is the furthest I am willing to speak German with you guys before I start embarrassing myself. So, although it's getting really close to Christmas, most people are doing like primarily just Christmas content right now. I was really thinking about it, and for this last year, one of my big goals was to bring my German further and to understand things more and just, you know, in general, just be better in German. And so, you know what? That's what we're gonna do today. It's really important for me that I do learn German because time is going very fast, and I'm doing an Ausbildung in Germany and it's starting in April, and that's coming around real quick. So I just wanted to share with you guys how I'm studying and what other resources I'm using. Some of them are different from what I shared before. And I think my approach now is a little bit different because I'm feeling the pressure. So I have my morning coffee, I have my colored pencils, and we are going to get started learning German. Another thing is that late last night I was lying in bed and I was thinking to myself, wow, I wish I knew this before I started learning a second language, and wow, I really wish I knew this before learning German. And so at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys also a few things that I really wish I learned, or that I just knew of before I really got into a second language. So stay tuned for that. So there are some things that have not changed whatsoever about me learning German. I am still, of course, I am still reading The Fault in Our Stars in German. That has not changed. I'm finally on the second chapter though. So, like you can see, this is my bookmark. I'm starting to get into the storyline, finally. Another thing that I'm still doing is I'm still writing out all the vocabulary that I don't know from the book. And let me just tell you guys, that has not really slowed down yet. I think from the start of the book, I'm still, you know, right now, for an average page, I'm still writing down as many words as I was when I first started reading the book. But one thing that I did notice is that in the book, when it's more like, see, I was terrible in English, so I don't know what this is called. When there's the dialogue and the characters are like talking to each other, I can totally understand that now. But it's all the rest of it, when it's like all the descriptive paragraphs about the situation happening, that's a lot more difficult to understand. So it is something that I have noticed, that I'm able to understand the dialogue a lot easier, but the other part, I mean, obviously there's just still a lot of vocabulary that I don't know yet. So today I'm just going to start by reading maybe 2 pages of this, because I do also want to do some other things today study-wise. And one thing that I really like to do while I'm studying that I'll share with you guys is I really like those study with me YouTube videos. And it will be like a real time, you'll play the video and the person will literally be studying. And I really like the Strive studies. It's by the YouTube channel The Strive to Fit, and then she also has the Strive Studies channel, and her whole channel is like different lengths of videos, anywhere from an hour and a half to like 5 hours, and you can choose like how long you think you're going to be studying for. And it's kind of nice because you have your study partner, and there's ones where they don't play music and it's just like the actual sounds of them, you know, flipping pages and writing and studying and stuff. But they also have some where they have some really nice relaxing study music to go with it. And I really like her YouTube channel for this because I just really like the music that she plays. It's more like classical music and a bit of lo-fi music, so it's not all like high energy, And I don't know, personally, that's just the kind of music that I like studying to. I really like studying with classical music. And then the other thing that I really like about her channel compared to some other ones is that she's not studying this whole time through. If she's studying for like a 2-hour session, she will have 4 like increments of study time, and then she'll have like 5-minute breaks in between those. And I kind of like it because the 5 minutes is actually timed in the video. So in some other videos that I've seen like this, they say, okay, here's a 5-minute break, pause the video and come back in 5 minutes. I am not responsible enough to do that. So I like when it's actually in the video and there's like little alarms that will go off when it's time to take a break and also when it's time to come back from your break. So I'll link her channel in the description if you guys want to check it out. She's like my favorite for follow along, study with me, real-time videos. Alright, so I took a little bit of a study break, I made some lunch, and we're gonna get back into it now. So I ended up reading 2 pages from the book. They weren't like that difficult, so later I might read some more. It depends how I feel, but I don't want to put all of my energy into just one thing. I kind of want to spread it out, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So the next book that we are going to get into is German Grammar Drills. I've been very slowly working through this, every so often doing a few exercises in it, and so yeah, I guess I'm just gonna continue. I did finish the first chapter and I'm kind of excited to get to the later parts of the book because my first remarks about this book is that it definitely starts from the very beginning. So the first whole chapter was all just exercises about determining the gender of the words, and I don't know, it's kind of difficult because it would show the rules for determining the gender, but then like even then you still have to look it up just to be like certain, because it's like not solid rules and there's so many exceptions to the rules. The second chapter, and that's the one I'm working through right now, it's about forming plurals. And then that's another thing where there's kind of rules but not really. There's lots of exceptions to the rules. So I don't know. The first 2 chapters are kind of meh. I'm hoping though that in the later part of the book it will be much more helpful. But for now I'm just going to do a few of these exercises. Alright, so that is this book done and out of the way for today. Next we have the Muskelbuch, das Muskelbuch. And this one is, like, I haven't actually started learning from it yet, and this is something that I know in the new year I'm gonna have to start learning from. So like, I may as well just start now. I was avoiding it for the last month because I mean, I feel like I don't really have the German knowledge to actually like read the text in here, because this is like a full-on like textbook. But what I am going to start doing now is just learning like the names of all the muscles. I'm probably not going to learn the names of all the muscles, but I will, you know, get a bit of a start on it. So today my plan is literally just to go through, read the names, look at the pictures, and like kind of see like which muscle goes where, things like that. I also have a poster in our office, and it's like the full diagram with all the muscles and stuff. So I think, you know, I can use that if I need to. But for now, I'm just going to look at this. Like, it has the name of the muscle up here, and then it points to it. So I'm just going to look through it for a bit, and that's gonna be good for now. And another thing I wanted to talk with you guys about is the things that I wish I knew before I started my second language journey and before I really started learning German. There are some things that in the beginning it would have been really beneficial for me to know. So here are those things. Number one, and the most important thing that I have learned that I wish I knew before, is that it takes so long to learn a language. And it's kind of like the further you get, the more you realize that you have to learn. And so it's like, it just seems like an endless cycle of constantly struggling and trying to get through the day. So I wish I would have known sooner the amount of time that this is going to take, because let's be real, I started learning German almost 3 years ago, and yes, we do have to account that I wasn't studying intensely during that whole time, but it was always kind of like in my mind. And I would say especially the last 2.5 years I have been more intensely learning. For sure the first year, but the last 1.5 years I still have been learning a lot. And I can imagine this going on for another 3 years. It's kind of crazy. I'm starting my Ausbildung within a matter of months, and I know I'm not going to be fluent at that time because it's only a few months away. And I feel like at the beginning of my language learning journey, I would have thought in a few months I'll get so much farther. And now I realize, and now I know that it is slow going, unless, I mean, you can make it faster if you dedicate like so much time to it. But for me, I tried doing that before, and then I feel like I would get burnt out. And so I need to dedicate like a significant number of years to mastering this language. And I think if I knew that before, it would have saved me a little bit of disappointment, because I think after a 1.5 years of learning German, I was a little disappointed that I wasn't further than I thought I was. And, you know, that's just what it is. Now, do understand, it is important to make the difference of I'm learning this language for fun and to go to this country on holidays, and I'm actually learning this language to be a part of this country and to work and study in this country. So there is a difference there, and I think that if you want to learn a language just for fun, it's easier and there's not as much pressure on you to learn it, and you don't need to be totally fluent. You don't need to master that language. So that's my TED Talk for you guys. And I definitely consider learning a language to be a marathon rather than a sprint. So for me, what has worked the best is just doing it like low and slow, kind of being consistent and not overworking myself too much one day, because then I'll get kind of annoyed or like fed up with it, and then I won't want to learn for a few days after that. Whereas if I just did a little bit less, then I'll do it more often, and in the end I'll do it more put together. So let's say there's a month where I'm studying twice a week, and then there's a month where I'm studying 5 days a week. I'm gonna be better off studying 5 days a week, doing a little bit less than if I was doing only once or twice a week, doing more. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel and leave down in the comments what videos you want to see in 2022. The next few weeks are going to be mainly Christmas related videos because it is that time of year. But in the new year, let me know what you guys want to see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!